All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Kata, and today we're going to work on a little bit of T-spine mobility. So, a little bit of thoracic movement, thoracic mobility. So, for class today, you will need a chair for some deep breathing. You'll also need a foam roller or a pad or a pillow, folded up blanket, something that you can put between your knees, because for a couple of exercises, we're going to need to keep our hips nice and stacked and level. You'll also need a yoga strap if you're a little bit tight in the hips and in the legs. It'll just make it easier to do a couple of the exercises. And then you will also need a weight, something a little bit heavy that you can hold in front of you. It can be a kettlebell, it can be a dumbbell, it can be a bag that has a whole bunch of books in it. There's a lot of different options. I'm just going to use a 15-pound dumbbell. We're not going to be lifting it, we're just going to be holding on to it. So it can be a little bit heavier than maybe you would normally use in your strength training. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our heels onto a chair or a couch or a box, whatever works for you, so that your hips and your knees are at 90 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and lie all the way down on our back. And we're going to focus on finding a nice neutral position for the hips. So we want to make sure that we're not arching our back, we're not rounding our back and lifting. All that we're doing is making sure our hips are at 90, our knees are at 90, and we're in a neutral spine position. And then you're going to take one hand and place it on your belly, and then one hand and place it on your chest. And we're going to take 4 to 6 breaths in the pattern of inhaling for 2 to 3, try to do 3, pausing for 1, exhaling for 4 to 6, and then pausing for 2 to 3. So what we'll do is you're going to inhale and feel the belly and the chest lift. So inhale for 3, pause, exhale for 4 to 6, pause for 2 to 3, and repeat. So inhale, pause, exhale, pause, and again, inhale, belly lifts, pause, exhale, pause. Let's do one more. All right, if you choose to, you can do 2 more breaths. I am going to roll to the side, move the chair out of the way, and I'm going to grab my foam roller. Now you can use anything. I'm grabbing the foam roller that I have. You are welcome to use a pillow or a folded up mat. You can also put something underneath your head if you need to. But you're going to bring your hips to 90 and your knees to 90, and then you're going to place the roller between your knees so that your hips are stacked. So you'll notice if I take the roller away, my hips aren't stacked and my knee is lower than my hips. So I want to find this nice neutral position. I'm going to take my top hand and I'm going to reach and grab my ribs to the best of my ability. I'm going to keep my hips and my knees stacked, and I'm going to take a nice deep breath. And as I exhale, I'm going to rotate back without allowing my hips and my knees to move. Return to the center. Take a deep breath. Exhale, grab the ribs and rotate. And again, lower body stays frozen. Return to center. We're going to do a couple more of these and then we'll switch to the other side. So inhale and exhale, grabbing the ribs, pulling over. Return to center. One more time. Inhale, exhale. And return to center. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to change my position, but it's the exact same thing. So hips are at 90, knees are at 90, roller or pillow is between the knees, between the legs, so that our knees are in line with our hips. Head can be resting on your hands or, again, on a pillow. And we're going to inhale. We grabbed our ribs. Inhale. And as we exhale, we rotate back. Again, keeping the hips and the knees frozen where they are. Return to center. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So for this, I kind of think about squeezing my knees together a little bit. Return, inhale, and exhale. Good. All right. So we're going to flip over to the other side. And if you are a little inflexible in the hips or you have a hard time grabbing your ankle from behind, go ahead and grab a yoga strap. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to wrap it around the leg that's going to be on the bottom. Now, if you can grab your heel with your hand when it's bent without needing a yoga strap, you don't have to use it, but you're going to want it to be around the ankle of the bottom foot with the longer portion of the straps behind you. You're going to go down onto your side and have that bottom leg bent up behind you. Your top leg is again going to be at 90 and 90, and it's going to start on the foam roller. Now, I'm going to move the foam roller out of the way. You can keep it where it is. The hand that's closest to the floor is going to reach under and grab this thigh and kind of hold it into place. You can also grab it to the top and hold it this way. Okay, this is called the bretzel, so it looks kind of like a pretzel. It does. Depends how flexible you are. So your hand that has the strap or that has the leg, you're going to open up the hip so it's in a nice neutral position. Your bottom hand is going to grab underneath at the top, or you can hold it overhand. And what you're going to do is hold this neutral position. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to take the shoulder holding the leg or the shoulder holding the strap, and you're going to try to press it towards the ground. But notice my hips and the rest of my legs did not move. And then you're going to inhale and exhale. It's a very small movement. So inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Release. And we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to do this one facing away from you so that hopefully you're able to see it a little bit better. It's a very small movement. What we're trying to do, actually I need to turn. What we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of lock in a neutral pelvis position and lock in the position of our lower body so that only our upper body is doing the movement. So sometimes we tend to compensate a little bit. So Again, your bottom leg is going to be bent. You're going to take the strap, wrap it around the ankle if you need to, and open that hip so that you have a straight line from your hip down to your knee. Your top leg is going to start by resting on that foam roller. So again, your hip is kind of in line with your knee. Your bottom leg, you're going to just pull just to hold it in place. Just to hold it in place. If you don't want to use the strap, you can always just hold on here. But if you're a little bit tight, use the yoga strap. Your top hand is either going to hold the knee in place on the roller, or you're going to grab underneath. So a lot of this will depend on how flexible you are. So don't force your shoulder to get to the ground. You just want to try to get it a little closer without compensating. So we're going to hold that neutral pelvis position, neutral spine. Just keep the legs kind of locked in. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, just gently try to push the shoulder blade towards the ground. So notice I'm not getting there. It looks like it, but I'm not. Inhale, relax. Exhale. So now I'm a little bit closer. Good. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Actually, let's do two more. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. And then exhale. Good. And release. And unpretzel yourself. So I know that one's a little bit tricky. The movement is very, very, very small. So if you're very tight in your thoracic spine and you don't have a lot of mobility, you may be a few inches off of the ground, okay? So you just want to think about locking in your lower body and rotating the upper body just a little bit, just until you get just a smidgen closer, feel a little stretch, and then release. And if you do this probably 2 to 3 times per side, every day or every other day, it'll start to get a little bit better. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to do some trunk stability with rotation. So again, grab your foam roller, grab your blanket, your pillow, whatever you prefer. And you're going to be down on your back. I call this dead bug position. But what you're going to do is you're going to be in a neutral pelvis position, hip at 90 degrees, knee at 90 degrees. You have to keep this foam roller pressed in. Arms are out to the side. Shoulders are down and back in your back pocket. And you're going to brace your core, keeping both shoulder blades on the floor. You're going to rotate to one side. In whatever direction you rotate, that palm turns down. And then you're going to bring it back up, both palms face up. And then you're going to rotate to the other side. And as you do, again, your opposite shoulder stays on the floor. And your palm rotates to the floor in the direction that you're rotating. Bring it back in. Good. And rotate. And back up. And rotate. And back up. Good. 4 to 6 per side, so we're halfway. Nice and slow. Don't force yourself to go to the floor, especially if that means that your opposite shoulder starts lifting off of the ground. So the focus of this is to keep your shoulders and upper spine glued to the floor and just allowing the lower body to rotate. I do better on one side than I do on the other. And you can see I'm starting to lose my foam roller. Good. Rotate. And center. Good. Bring it in. Take it down. We're now going to come to a kneeling position. So feel free to put something underneath your knees if you need to. And we're going to grab our weight. So again, we're not going to be lifting this weight. We're just going to be kneeling with it. holding onto it in front. So what we are working on is we are working on perfect posture, perfect posture. So if you're short, you may have to change how you hold it, or sometimes a kettlebell works better than a dumbbell. But what we're going to do is we're going to be on our knees, tuck our toes under, squeeze our glutes, and we're going to be nice and tall. So we want to make sure we're not hunkered over, we're not sitting back into our heels, we're not slouched. Okay, if you really need to, you can point your toes, but if you can, try to tuck the toes under, find what feels best. Shoulders are down and back in your back pocket, and we're just tall. So we're keeping that really, really good posture. Make sure we're not arching. So squeeze the glutes, control the abs, and you're just going to start by not moving anything except your head, and you're going to turn to one side, bring it back to the middle, and turn to the other side. And back into the middle. So we're going to do one more on each side for this modification. So again, no body turning, no rotating yet. Back to the center, and then other side. Good. Now you have the option, staying nice and tall, and again, not allowing your hips to do turning. Your head turns, and you add a little torso rotation back into the center, but you're still frozen from the belly button down. So squeeze those cheeks. Rotate and center. Now, if you find that as you do this, your hips start to rotate over as well, go back to doing just the head or focus on your form. And center, so squeeze in those glutes together. And back to the center. Good, and set it down. So that particular exercise, again, 4 to 6 per side, work on technique. You want to keep that perfect, good posture and just moving the head. Then you can start to add in a little bit of the torso rotation. All right, everybody, the last exercise that we're going to do is a Turkish get up to tall sit. So it's not a full Turkish get up, and I'm going to do this one at body weight, but you are more than welcome to do this one with a dumbbell or a kettlebell if you know how to do these and if you already feel comfortable with them. If you don't, stick with body weight. So this one is a little bit more challenging than most exercises, but it's a really, really good one, especially for building total body strength, and for getting up and down off of the floor. So what you're going to do is you're going to lie all the way down, and you're going to take your right leg straight, have your left leg bent, so knee bent, foot flat on the floor, and then you're going to take it at about 45 degrees out to the side. The leg that's bent, that arm is going to reach for the ceiling. So this is where you would hold your kettlebell or your dumbbell if you had one, but we want to make sure that we're not just holding our arm up there. We want to think about kind of locking it out, still keeping your shoulder down and back in your back pocket. Your other arm is going to be resting down on the floor, palm facing down, and again, trying to keep the shoulder down and back into your back pocket. I am not the best at these, but you want to try to keep a nice neutral spine position as you do these. You're going to use your core and your legs pushing through this heel, and you're going to think about reaching for the ceiling, and you're going to come up, reaching up, making sure that your opposite hand is stacked. So you're kind of like when you do planks, your shoulder is away from your ears. You're going to bring it in, and you're going to push yourself up nice and tall, sitting straight. Then you are going to take the hand out just a little, drop down to your elbow, and again, rolling down and back. So we're going to try this one more time. This one's kind of tricky, so take your time, but you're going to use the core, reach for the ceiling, push through this heel to help you. You're going to reach, And then you're going to bring it up nice and tall. Take it back down onto the elbow and bring it down. So let's try the other side. So take the leg straight. So left leg is straight, right leg is bent, knee bent, foot flat on the floor. Take it out to about 45 degrees, out to the body, side of the body. Arm is out to the side, palm facing down. Your opposite arm is reaching for the ceiling, so shoulders are in your back pocket. Use the core, use the heel on this foot to push. You're going to reach. So I'm on my elbow, I'm stacked. I'm going to bring it in, pushing up, sitting nice and tall. Dropping down to the elbow and bring it back down again. Again, I'm not the best at these, but that's a good thing. It just means we practice. So we're going to reach, bring it up, take it down, and roll back. So you want to do, start with trying to do a couple on each side, work your way up to 4 to 6. So this is a workout that you can do once a week, couple times a week. Just listen to your body. I like to kind of rotate through this. I do the hip, I do the ankle, I do this one, and then we're also, I'm also going to be posting a shoulder one, a little bit of rotation. So we're going to go through all of these, but so I've got the ankle up, I have the hips up, and then now we have the T-spine, the thoracic spine. So rotate through these, or if you're having a day where your upper body feels really stiff, this is a good one that you can kind of roll through. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to contact me through my page or through my email address. And I hope to see you again. Have a wonderful day and have some happy T-spines. Bye.